streets were dark. The houses were dark. The lights were out, leaving us in darkness. The stars were gone and the moon was dim. The streets were empty, not a soul other than us. We walked down the street in complete silence. No birds or insects flew around. The dogs didn't bark and the cats didn't meow. The world was silent to us, dark to us, completely empty to us. We looked around the cold, dark street, yet all we saw were the remnants of buildings that were once full of people. People with families, people with friends. But all that was gone now, replaced with the dark, silent world that occupied the space. We walked into an apartment building that was empty and dark. We opened the doors and entered the rooms. We searched the cabinets and other containers for food and water to last us another day. Day after day we searched for food and water, just so we could live another day in the world without light, sound, or life. She used to speak to me about her life before this hell. She used to tell me about her family and work. Now she sits silently on a couch with an expression of solemn. I used to try and talk to her about things, about what we would do, where we would go. Now I sit in the kitchen preparing the food, not speaking a word. The building made no sound, no creaks, no cracks. I looked at her and she looked at me. She had accepted the fact that we were alone. No one was around us anymore. We were the only ones left. I continued to think that maybe there was someone out there. However, I too had begun to lose hope. Hope that we would find someone out here, in the lonely, dark world. Then, in this world without sound, light, and life, there was a sound that pierced through the silence, a sound foreign to us. We were frightened and scared. We knew we were alone, we knew nothing made noise. Then how could it have been that a sound had just been made? The noise came again, much louder this time. A cry from somewhere in the apartment. A cry that most know very well. A cry that makes every mother and every father worry so much. Cry of a child, a baby. We searched the apartment for the source of the noise, till we opened a closet and found in a pile of old clothing and string a small little baby. The baby cried out in fear, crying for her mother, a mother that was no longer around. She picked up the baby and cradled her in her arms. The baby calmed and began to sleep. We looked at each other, and then at the baby. How could it be, in this world without sound, life, or light, that a small little baby could survive on her own? Was this baby always here, or did it just appear now? We didn't ponder on these questions for long. We realized that now we had a third member of our group. We would need more food, more clothes, and especially more communication. I looked around the room, and inside one drawer of a cabinet in the far corner, there was a long object made of sleek black metal, with other cylinder objects placed in the drawer. I picked up the long object and found a small button. I pressed it, and then out of nowhere, it seemed, light filled the room. Our eyes had to adjust to the now bright room. The object was a flashlight, with the other objects being batteries. I looked at her. She was still holding the baby. She smiled with a smile I had never seen before. The warmth from it made me feel better in this world. We gathered the batteries and returned to the living room. We sat down on the couch, and I looked at her. She began to speak about how we would need to find baby food, and that we would need to find something to keep the baby warm with. I agreed and put the flashlight on the coffee table. The room was now dimly lit, and I felt much better. Our world that was once filled with darkness, silence, and the absence of light had now become a world of warmth and light. We had gone from a group of 2 who no longer knew how to speak, to a family of 3 that was happy once again. We didn't know what would come in the future, but maybe, we thought, we could make this cold, dark world a bit brighter and warmer once again.